right, hello PS24. Welcome to my house, my living room slash kitchen dining room. Never thought I'd be doing this, but this is where we are right now. First of all, I really hope that everybody is healthy, safe, and following all the rules. That everybody's got their stuff, their gloves, their masks. I got my disinfectant wipes. I got everything I need when I'm going food shopping, all that stuff. So hope everybody's okay. We're gonna get through this together. Hoping we can get back to school, but who knows? That's out of our control. So we're gonna do the best we can here. All the teachers, all the staff at PS24 are working really, really hard to make sure that we make this as easy as possible for you guys. And we need your help too. We got to make sure that you guys are, here and present and completing the assignments and asking questions and just being involved. And if we're all involved, I really think we can make this a great 2 months to end the year. So let's take a look at what we're going to be doing today, April 20th. Our objective for today is I can develop a claim, support with evidence, and give reasoning to a question. So what we're going to be taking a look at, our science for the week is going to be focusing on diffusion. I thought it'd really be a cool topic to talk about because diffusion is happening all around us at all the time, especially in the air. With the coronavirus right now, it's important to talk about because we need to talk about how molecules spread and how fast or how slow they do that. So we're going to take a little look at that today. And we're also going to complete a CER, which is a claim, evidence, reasoning task. So you'll be using that model, that method to answer a question today. And so what you're going to do is you're going to study the slideshow. I'm going to go over it with you guys in this video. We're going to talk about what diffusion is in that slideshow. You will have access to that on Google Classroom, so it'll be there for you. We're also going to take a look at some of the CER materials. I have a funny video on YouTube that is from the company Audi, the car company, and it's about this young girl who thinks her father's an alien. I am going to show you how I'm going to use the CER format to model how it's done. And you guys will have access to that model, the video, and everything for you, so you can review that as much as you need to. Lastly, you guys are going to have your own assignment on Google Classroom, which is going to be around diffusion and does hot or cold water diffuse, what am I using? Food coloring. Is it going to diffuse food coloring faster or slower, the hot and cold water? Which one is which? And you will use the evidence from the slideshow. You'll use evidence from research that you may do yourself. The video is real live evidence, the experiment, and you will use that evidence to answer your CER question. And that's it for today. And then I'll have a new video tomorrow because we'll be doing a new CER, and that's where I'm going to tie the coronavirus stuff in, where we're going to take a look at if someone is breathing or coughing outside, where does all that air go? And if someone has coronavirus, where does all that air go when you're breathing out? Where does all that breath go? How fast does it blend into the air? So I think that's a really interesting thing to investigate right now because of obviously what's happening. So I'm excited for it, and so we're going to get started with today's lesson, which is the PowerPoint on diffusion. All right, so let's take a look at the slideshow that I have here for you guys. Remember, it's in Google Classroom, but I'm just going to review it briefly here on the video so you have a little bit of more background information for yourself. So let's get started. What is diffusion? Diffusion is the movement of a substance from an area of high concentration to an area of low concentration. Diffusion happens in liquids and gases because their particles move randomly from place to place. My 7th graders may remember we took a look at some sugar and salt and we blended that together in water and we watched diffusion happen naturally. So the big question was, where does that stuff go? Well, it turns into a new compound, turns into a new substance, and then if you add heat or if you take heat away, you cool it, you will see a change happen as well. But we'll get into that other stuff later. The transport of matter continues until equilibrium is reached and there is a uniform concentration through the material. So the easiest way to, I just said a lot of things here. The easiest way to kind of understand all of this is, if you're adding two different substances, it has a different weight to it or a different density to it. And naturally what ends up happening is these two substances will blend together. I have a picture to show you guys in a couple of slides. So rate of diffusion is next, and diffusion can happen at various speeds, but it really is dependent on two things. And number one is temperature. Higher temperatures increase the energy and therefore movement of the molecules. So that increases the rate of diffusion. Lower temperatures obviously will then slow down diffusion. As things heat up, diffusion happens faster. So we can't see this, but what's happening is when you add heat to something, the molecules are speeding up and they're moving really, really fast. So that makes things happen fast. That makes things happen faster. The other thing that changes the rate of diffusion, the speed that it happens, is solvent density. So the density of the liquid. So a thicker liquid makes diffusion difficult. We're really just going to focus on the temperature aspect of it, but I did want to add both of these just in case, for further reference later on. Examples of diffusion, you guys can see here. You walk into a coffee shop, you smell coffee. You walk into a restaurant. Unfortunately, none of us have done that in a while, but I know one of my favorite restaurants, when I walk in, you smell the food right away. You smell the food, you smell coffee at the coffee shop, wherever it may be. If someone's smoking a cigarette, you can smell that cigarette. That's diffusion. That's that those particles, those smell particles that are moving around through the air. Let's take a look at this picture here. That's next. So here's an example of coffee being put inside of water. So the brown circles are the coffee, the blue circles are water. So as you can see, the coffee is highly concentrated. So what that means is there's a lot of coffee in a little bit of space. And what happens is, as you put that little bit of coffee inside of the water, it starts to blend together. It diffuses. So eventually it turns into the coffee that we're used to seeing. Instead of being that super, super strong little bit of coffee, you add some water to it and it dilutes it. And lastly, here we have some more examples of diffusion. I'm not going to read through all of these. You guys can pause the video, take a look. Also, remember, this is available to you on Google Classroom. All right, so our question that we are going to try and answer today is, if you have 2 glasses of water, one hot and one cold, and decide to drop food coloring into each glass, which combo will naturally mix faster? We are not going to mix, we're just going to watch. So what you're going to see in this video is you're going to see 2 glasses of water, one hot, one cold. There's going to be someone who drops in the food coloring, and you're going to watch. You're going to observe for yourself that the hotter water will diffuse or blend the food coloring faster, and the colder water, you'll see that the food coloring kind of sticks together, and it will eventually diffuse, but it takes a longer time. So I want you guys to have an understanding of that first before we jump into the applying this to today's life with coronavirus and diffusion and all of that. So we need to make sure we understand this first, the video first, and then we'll answer this question, and then tomorrow we will get into coronavirus. Alright, finally in this video we are going to talk about the CER format and how it works. So what you're going to see on the screen now is a graphic organizer that you have in Google Classroom, and we are going to go over it together. Remember, if you guys have any other questions, you can send them to me. Also, we can meet on Google Meets and have discussions there as well. So if you don't fully understand everything right now, it's okay. Here for you. We'll be able to figure it out together. We have all week to get this work done. So first up is the C in CER, and that is the claim. So you guys are going to have to make a claim about diffusion, and for today's assignment, the water. Is hot water or cold water going to diffuse the dye faster? So this is very, very simple. You're just going to write a statement that responds to the question. It's going to be definitive. There's no wishy-washy type of language. It's like, I believe, or the water will do this, or the hot water will diffuse faster. It's just that one sentence statement. I will have other examples there for you. I'll have the Audi example there for you as well, so you'll be able to take a look at that. Next, we have the E. E stands for evidence. This is where you're going to provide your data. This is where you're going to provide evidence to support your claim. This is real information. On the chart that I'm giving you, the graphic organizer, you guys can write it in bullet points. It doesn't have to be complete sentences, but when you write your final answer, it is gonna have to be in a strong paragraph to 2-paragraph format. But E is for evidence. So you're gonna look at the evidence. You're gonna use the evidence from the PowerPoint slide that I gave you. You're going to combine all that together, and then finally you're going to get to the R in CER, which is reasoning. And that is to use scientific principles and knowledge that you have about the topic to explain why your evidence supports your claim. This is the why. Why is it happening? Why does the evidence support your claim? So you're just kind of putting everything together. You're wrapping it up. And then you just have a nice wrap-up sentence at the end. Something like, therefore, this is why I believe the hot water or cold water will diffuse faster. All right, next up, I added your rubric, so you can take a look how you're going to be scored for today's assignment and also any other future CER assignments as well. This rubric's in Google Classroom, just like everything else. I'm sure I sound really redundant, but everything is there. Also, you guys are gonna see this chart, which is a step-by-step plan for you to complete all different types of CERs. So if you're struggling, you can also take a look at this as well. All right, so the last thing I want to do now is I want to show you guys the video from the company Audi about the little girl who thinks her father is an alien. And that is the question that I'm going to use as a model. Is the little girl's dad an alien? Yes or no? So let's take a look at the video, then we'll come back and talk about it.
I have evidence that proves my dad's a space alien. He speaks a weird language. He drinks green stuff. He says he's from Albuquerque. I'm not buying it. I mean, just look at him. And one more thing, he has a spaceship. The evidence doesn't lie. My dad's an alien.
The highly advanced Audi A6, named to car and drivers 10 best.
All right, so if I'm completing this assignment, and the first thing I have to do is state a claim, my claim is that her dad is definitely an alien. And I'm just going based off the evidence that's given in the video. I think clearly we know that he is not. It's just a commercial, but we're just using what we have, and that's it. Now, clearly, when you're doing your own CER on the hot and cold water and diffusion, you guys will have real evidence, and you'll also have your Google Slides to use as well. So my claim is her dad is an alien. What is my evidence? So my evidence is he speaks a weird language, he has a spaceship, he's from a place with a weird name, he drinks that green stuff, and he looks funny when he goes on his bike rides. So my reasoning behind all of this is aliens do all this weird stuff, and this girl's father does all this weird stuff as well. So it just makes plenty of sense with the evidence that I'm given from the video that her father is indeed an alien. So what you'll do is you'll put all of this together. You'll take your claim, you'll take your evidence, and your reasoning. You put it together to give yourself an answer, a scientific answer. And this example is here for you. There are a few other examples that you could take a look at as well. So you'll be able to take a look at those three as an example to help you answer your CER question today. So to wrap this up, I need everybody to log into Google Classroom, get on that assignment, get it done today, so that we can work on tomorrow's CER about coronavirus and diffusion. Remember to take a look at your PowerPoint, take a look at the videos that I've shared. You could obviously rewatch this video. Also, I have examples on Google Classroom as well. If you have any questions, please message me. And that's pretty much it for this video. So stay safe out there, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.